are you? How are you guys doing today? Welcome to my video this afternoon. I hope you guys are okay. Welcome to those who are watching me on Facebook and to those who are watching me on YouTube. I said good afternoon. Good afternoon, my time. Good afternoon, your time. Good evening, good morning. Wherever you are watching from, I'm sending my greetings to you guys. I'm sending my greetings to all of you joining me this afternoon, my time. All right. So I'm gonna wait while I'll be waiting. I'm gonna wait for my fans to come online, and then I could take some questions, and we could discuss more about diabetics. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend wherever you are. I send my greetings. I send my greetings. I send my greetings to all of you wherever you are watching me from. I send my greetings. My jog. Good evening your time, good afternoon my time. How are you doing? How is your weekend? How is your family and how is your health? I hope everything is working out fine. That's good. And those that are watching me on YouTube, I am sending my greetings to you guys. Patel, I'm sending my greeting to you. And those that are watching me on Facebook, I'm sending my greetings to you guys. So today is going to be a realization. We're going to have a general discussion. I'm going to expatiate more on counting carbs. I'm going to expatiate more on counting carbs. Okay? So I'm going to wait for you guys to come online, and then we'll go discuss more. Majak, you have any question? Majak, do you have any question for me while we are waiting for everybody to come online? I think I need my eyeglass. I'm going to put my eyeglass. All right. Majok, where are you watching me from? Good morning. I'm waiting for some more people to come, and then we'll go start our programs. The topic of today is counting carbs. How to count your carbs. Sorry, let me. Thanks for reminding me. Let me put it up. Counting carbs. So thank you, Majok, for reminding me. Yeah, I forgot to put Juba. Oh, all right. Yep. Oh, okay. South Sudan. Yeah, it's a beautiful country. One of these days, I'm gonna be there. It's a beautiful country, Juba. Kamara, how is Sierra Leone? Yeah, today we're going to be talking about counting carbs because I got a lot of questions. I posted a video about counting carbs, but I got more questions, so I'm going to try that. I wanted to do another topic today, But since I've been getting questions on my email on counting carbs, so I said, okay, I have to address it on today's video, and then maybe I have to do another live video later for another topic. So that is it. Okay, my jog, no problem. Anytime I made up plans to come, I'll let you know. Maybe you're gonna be my contact in South Sudan. All right, Eric, welcome. Today you're on time. You're on time. Eric, I answered. I hope you got my response to your question. I responded to your question sent to me. You asked me two questions. If diabetics get worse when you're getting older, something like that about age, and I said yes. All right, my job. That's a deal. That's a deal, and that's a deal. So I'm going to have you as a point of contact there once, anytime I'm ready to be on the road with this program. So Eric, you asked me two questions regarding counting carbs. Kamara, Gibrila, counting carbs. We were talking about how to count your carbs. I just put it there, counting carbs. Let me update it. Okay, let me just update it. How to count your carbs. Okay, so I've updated it. Today's topic is how to count your carbs. Kamara. So let me, Eric, since you are early today, good. You asked me if diabetics get worse with somebody with. I know you said something about age. Does it affect somebody with about age if they are getting older or something like that? The answer is yes. Everything is. I'm going to explain. Okay, I'm going to explain it in another way, and I'm going to answer your question. There's something called saving for your rainy days. When you save for your rainy days, during your early age, you are working. They say better save for rainy days, or they're telling you save for your rainy days. Save for your they're asking to plan ahead. So you are working, you are saving for the future. So anytime you retire, you have something to fall back. Okay, Majok. Yeah, that is Majok. Yes, that is what I'm. That is. Not. You are not the only person. I've been getting a lot of response that I should visit. Most of them, at least, I've gotten one doctor from Gabon, the other one from Senegal. In fact, I got about 7 inquiries. They are watching this channel. They say nobody, in Africa, nobody cares about. Nobody. They don't even know about all these things. So they were surprised that I'm giving more information. So they are even inviting me. Why don't I visit their countries? Come to the country and then educate them. Have a kind of teaching, enlighten them what to do and what not to do, guide them. So I'm looking towards that. So that is why I say you are going to be my point of contact, my job. So if I decide to once I'm ready, decide to start, then I will discuss with you so that you get those communities ready for awareness. So you're going to be my point of contact. So I'm still working on it. All right. So because I've got a lot of interest, people asking me why don't I come, and they will take me around, and I say okay. I'm thinking towards it. So let's Majok, we're going to talk more. We're going to talk more. Through my message or through phone, we're going to talk more about it. Okay. So okay, Kamara. You said now, as I was trying to, Eric, let me answer your question because I'm getting another question. So saving, when I say saving for your rainy days, whatever you are working now, you are putting out some money aside for your retirement older age, so that when you retire at older age, you don't need to be working when you are 70, 80. You know, you save for your old age, so you have something to fall back. So diabetes affect people in your older age. It affects as you grow older, but it depends how you manage your diabetes right from the beginning. If you take your diabetes treatment right from the beginning, you manage it properly, and you are controlling it, at your later age, when you are getting older, 70, 80, it's not going to affect you. You're going to continue living your normal because you control your sugar. You are healthy. So it depends how you started now, controlling your sugar level, so that when you get to that stage, it's not going to affect you that much, but at least you know you're healthy. Yes. So if you do not treat it right now, then at your older age, it's going to get worse because you allow your sugar to balloon. And then you asked me a question about dairy. Eric, about dairy. Yeah, so dairy are a good source of proteins, okay, vitamins, minerals, but it depends on kind of dairy you're talking about. Remember, milk has sugar in it, has carbohydrate in it. So it depends the kind of dairy you're talking about. You have to look at the carbohydrate quantity in it and the milk quantity in it before you know what to consume. So it depends. There are some dairy that are good. There are some dairy that are not good. So everything you are eating, you're going to make sure you know the quantity of what you are taking in. All right, Eric. Now, another person, okay, this is Kamara Gabriela. Diabetes transferable. No, diabetes is not transferable. But it can be inherited, yeah. Diabetes cannot be transferred. There's no way you can transfer diabetes. There are three major ways you can get diabetes. Three major ways. And the first one is through if you inherit it. I always give an example, like in my family, it's in our DNA of the family. My great grandfather has it. My father, it's passed through the lineage. Okay, so we have in my family. They say which is the most common disease we have in my family is diabetes. Okay, so it's something that is passed through generation to generation. It's in the family. And there are some family you go, there are cancer in the family. That is why you see when you see somebody in your lineage has a cancer, there's a chance that one of your children might get it. You might escape it, but one of your children might escape it, and your great grandchildren might get it. So that's one way you can get diabetes inherited. The other way is through your lifestyle. Is the choice you make. When I say through your lifestyle, is that if you're not eating healthy food, you eat anyhow. Your lifestyle was so extravagant that you don't care what you eat. So you keep piling up, drinking a lot of soda, Coke. You can drink about 1 crate of Coke in a day. You put 1 bag of sugar in your tea. When they say, no, I need more. So these are your lifestyles. So your lifestyle can cause you to have so one is inherited, through your family lineage, and one is your lifestyle. The choices you make can cause it. I know the third one is environmental. Okay, environmental. The area you live can determine, there are certain external environmental factors that contribute for you to have diabetes. So these are the 3 ways that you can get diabetes, but it is not transferable. Not transferable. Okay. All right. So Eric, I hope I've answered your question, and then Kamara, Gabriela, I hope I've answered your question. Four questions? You only get, I don't know, is it 4? Are you telling me you give me 4 questions? I only see 2 questions. Eric. Oh, okay, all right. Okay, I got it now. All right, so I'm going to go into diabetes is not curable. You can't cure it. It has no cure, but you can manage it. You can live with it. Anybody that tell you that diabetes is curable is just wasting your time. You just want to collect your money. You just want to send it to your early grave. So diabetes is not curable, but it can be managed and live with. All right. Now, in terms of preventable, yes, it's only in one specific area that you can prevent diabetes. When it is pre-diabetics, there's something they call pre-diabetics, when it's in the borderline. Yes, you can prevent. So if you are lucky enough, there are people that are lucky enough, they go to their doctor and they find out that they have pre-diabetics. They don't, when you do your blood work and they see that, okay, you have pre-diabetics, and your doctor is going to caution you, hey, listen, reduce your sugar intake, try to go into exercise. Then when your doctor alerts you on that, then that's when you have to take it seriously to change your lifestyle. Changing your lifestyle is changing your diet, involving exercise. If you're not used to exercising, then you have to start going to exercise. But the most important thing is exercising, changing your lifestyle, which is your diet, and then eating healthy. It is part of reducing your weight. If you're obese, you have to reduce your weight. Then you can prevent it when it's on the borderline, when it's pre-diabetics. But once it crosses that line to type 2 diabetics, it's not more curable. Then you have to live with it. Okay? All right, so I'm going to go into the counting carbs, because I did a video, but I got more questions, so I said, okay, I'm going to answer it now. So what are carbs? Carbs is the short form of carbohydrate. When you hear carbs, they're talking about carbohydrate. Now, you are suffering from diabetes because of your lifestyle. Okay, and then all they are trying to tell you is avoid, reduce sugar intake, or don't take anything that is sugar anymore. But there is one thing you have to understand. As a diabetic, once you're a diabetic, then you have to learn how to count your carbs. It's very important. It's one of those factors that you have to know how to count your carbs. Now, if you look at most food in tin cans or in container, if you look at the back, there's a nutrition list listed there. Okay, they'll tell you the quantity of protein, vitamin, sugar, carbohydrate, and whatever that is in it. So anything if you look at it and it says it's 0 sugar, don't assume that because it says 0 sugar is good for you to consume. No, look at the carbohydrate percentage in it. That's going to tell you that still is 0, but the carbohydrate is too much. So that's how you have to know, okay, if it says 23, 24, 30, or 60% of carbohydrate, how do I know how many quantity for me to consume out of this? You don't need to go home and finish it. Okay, so you have to know how many carbs do I need per meal per day, so that I don't skyrocket my sugar level up. Still, as a diabetic, you still need energy, because once you consume that carbohydrate, it goes into your system, it converts it into sugar, into energy, and stores them into your cells, your liver. It stores the energy in your muscles and your liver. Okay, so that anytime it needs some, it goes there and take some to use. All right. Now, as I said in my video, there's 3 benefits of counting carbs. If you're a diabetic patient, or even if you're not a diabetic patient, there are 3 benefits you get while they say count your carbs. 1, okay, you're gonna be healthy. You're gonna stay healthy. Once you know how to count your carbs and stick to that guideline, it makes you to stay healthy. That's number 1. Number 2, it makes you to live a quality life, because you know you are living healthy. You are conscious of what you eat. You are eating a healthy food. You can say to yourself, you know what? I know what I'm eating. I'm okay with it. That feeling is there that you are eating healthy. You stay healthy. You live a quality life because you are not eating any more junk food. So it's helping you to prepare yourself to live a quality life. And then the third one is that it avoids you, it keeps you away from going to complications of diabetes. And those complications that I've been saying is, you don't want to start having complications whereby they say, oh, you lose weight, you are partially blind, or you get wound on your leg, they say they're going to amputate you, or you have heart attack or stroke. Okay, so it's going to prevent you from getting all those complications because you are eating healthy. That is why it is important that you know how to count your carbs. That is 1. Now, there are things you have to understand. Okay, if you are a mealtime insulin taker, you are taking insulin during your meal time, or you can either inject it or you pump it in. If you take your insulin during your meal time, there is something you have to understand, that the amount of insulin that you are injecting must be equal to the amount of carbs in that food. You have to balance it. The amount of insulin that you are injecting at your meal time must be equal to the amount of carbs in your food. Okay? So that's one factor you have to understand if you're a mealtime insulin taker. Now, remember, we measure our carbs in grams. So for instance now, how do I know how many carbs am I going to consume? Nobody, that's the question. But okay, now, you have to understand that one carb, that's one carbohydrate, is equal to 15 grams. So this is where the mathematics comes in now. Measurement comes in. One carbohydrate is equal to 15 grams. So if you know this one, so okay, now I know, okay, so one carb is equal to 15 grams. Now, I have this food here. It says 40, 50, 60, or 70 grams of carbohydrate in it. How many do I consume from it? Because you're not going to finish it. You're not going to finish it. Kamara, you say it's very serious. It's difficult to control diet in Africa, but it's really good to control it. Yes, I know, because I know most of Africans, we go to farm, we need our energy to go to farm, and we do a kind of heavy work in the market, yes. All right? But at the same time, you see, the problem, I'm going to digress a little bit. I'm going to come back to what we were talking before. Let me try to explain it. You see, it's not that it's the amount of food. It's not that it's the amount of food you take in Africa that is the problem. There's something I noticed. Each time I go to Africa, okay? Each time I go to Africa and you go to the market, the open market where they sell a lot of food, and you look at the drinks, like they say this is orange. You see some orange, they say this is orange juice, but if you look at the color, it's red, almost like red or purple. And I say, how can this be orange? You see, most drinks they do in Africa, they don't measure the quantity of sugar they put in it. They don't even know what is in it because nobody monitors them. It's something they prepare in a backyard, in somebody's backyard. Nobody knows what they are doing there. You don't even know the kind of water they use. They just mix it and bring it out, and people are taking. And I was in one market one certain time, and I just said, let me watch what is going to happen. I could see a lady buy. I'm not going to mention the brand name, so because this is live, so I don't want to mention the brand name, but it's a popular brand name all over the world. Just there and there, this lady drank three, because it was hot. Those 3 juice you drink there, if you see the quantity of sugar that is in it. So is the drinks, the way you guys drink, the way they take their drinks in Africa is too much. Some guys are going to take one orange juice now. Let me just call it one orange juice. In the next 30 minutes again, another person come, give me one. Within 2 hours, they've taken about 10. All those things are sugar consumption. So and at the end, your pancreas is going to be overwhelmed. You won't be able to control the sugar anymore because you are taking too much sugar. So it's not even the food itself. But if you can control the amount of sugar, in Africa, nobody controls all those things. Everybody just do whatever they will do. So if you can control those kind of drinks you guys are drinking outside there, because you're going to eat at home, then chances of you getting diabetes might be minimal. But the way you see the most drinks in Africa, the amount of, nobody check them. And you keep drinking all those things, in a day, you might drink about 10 bottles of, I don't want to mention the brand name. So they don't say I'm spoiling their name, their business. But you guys know what I'm talking about. They are popular brand all over the world. And I can tell you, they know them all over the world. If I bring you the same drink in North America here, and I bring it to Africa, and I bring Africa oil in your country, I say, This is the same company, known all over the world. The same thing, the same name. This one comes from North America and this one in Africa. If you test both of them, you see totally different. Because in North America, it's disciplined, the government check them, government monitor them. They don't just go and do whatever they want to do. They give them there's an amount of sugar they are going to add. They don't just go in the factory and empty a bag of sugar in one can, put it in the market. No. And before they release it, there's a government office in that factory that tests it. Before they push it out, there's a Ministry of Health that checks that drink, test it, sample, approve it, then you can then sell it to customers. If they test and say their sugar is too much, they say, no, this cannot go. They have to go back again and start because government monitors all those things. But in Africa, nobody cares. So I went home once and I went home, I bought a drink here from December. I took it home and I give it to my sister. I said, what can I say? He said, yes, this. He said, I said, it's from North America. The taste is different. I drink one in Africa, it's like they put 20 bags of sugar in it. And you are going to drink 20 in a day. So it's not about the food you are eating, it's the drink that is causing most of our people to have diabetics because there's too many sugar in their drinks there. So if you can limit taking all those drinks, because you need your swallow at home, your cornmeal, this and that, you have to go to farm because you need energy to farm. But if you are a diabetic patient, because you damage your pancreas, you're not going to eat those foods anymore. You have to change your diet. So that's why it's very difficult. But if you are not a diabetic patient, now this is the time for you to learn and say, you know what? I have to go to farm. I have to go to the market. I have to do this. I have to do that. So you know what? I like my food at home. I don't want someone to, my wife, this is my favorite. So the best thing, I'm going to sacrifice all those nonsense drink, sugar cane. You see I see in Africa, they just peel that sugar cane. They peel it a whole. I see somebody munching it. I say, oh my God. Sugar cane that the length is one person finish it. So tell me, why wouldn't that person have develop diabetics? So it's your lifestyle. That is why once you're diabetic, then you have to stick to that rule. There's no but, there's no choice. You have to change your diet or you die. If you continue the way you're doing, it means you're not going to last for long. You're going to die. So that is it. What are some of the signs of diabetics? Kamara, you're taking us out of our topic for today. What are the signs of diabetics? Signs of diabetes, frequent tests. Your frequent tests. You are drinking a lot of water. Unusual, frequent urination. You pee a lot. When you go to, you pee every second. Every second you are peeing. All right. You're having a blurred vision. Sometimes it's like you are seeing something double. You are seeing double. You can't see properly. Okay. Unexplained weight loss. Okay. Sweating. All those things are signs of diabetics. But the two most common ones that you can notice easily is that blurred vision. When you can't see properly, all of a sudden you can't see the picture is not clear. And then you start urinating every second. Those ones are the frequent one you're going to notice. The other ones are silent or confusing, except you go on a blood test. But the one you yourself can notice when you are peeing all the time. I just went to the toilet, now pee, come back, I'm going back again. Then you know you have a problem. And then the blurred vision. Okay. So to go back to our counting carbs, all right. On our counting carbs, as I was saying before, we have 3 types of carbs, carbohydrate. Okay, we have the sugar, we have the starchy, and we have the fiber. And I'm going to explain 3 of them. So for you to know, you know the kind of carbs you are taking. We have the sugar carbs, we have the starchy, and we have the fiber. The sugar is sugar you find in fruits, milks, or those ones are natural, or the added sugar, the sugar you add in your food, in your tea, or whatever you are taking. Those are carbs. Remember that sugar you are putting on your tea also contains some carbs in it. Okay? So you are taking sugar, you are taking some carbs. So all those things spikes up your sugar level. So those are one thing. That's why they say stay away from anything sugary. Then you have the starchy carbs. And what is on those starchy carbs? You are talking about grains, oatmeal, oats, or whole wheat. or starchy vegetables. There's something they call starchy vegetables. We're talking about potatoes, cornmeal, lentils, beans. Those are starchy vegetables. Now we have the fiber. Under the fiber, these are plant-based. They are plant-based seeds or foods. They are plant-based foods. You know, I've explained to you guys several times why. Yeah, Kabara, yes. I've explained to you why they advise all of us that are diabetics, to be taking more fiber than a lot of carbohydrate. I would say less carbohydrate, more fiber foods. Carbohydrate, if you take, for instance, now you go home and then you cook yam, or you cook cornmeal, or you cook semolina, or you cook cassava meal. As soon as you eat it, just give it about 2 minutes. You see that your sugar level spikes, because carbohydrates are digestibles. They digest very fast, and because they digest very fast and convert the sugar, into energy and dump them into your bloodstream, it spikes up your sugar level very fast. So it's like you're still consuming sugar. So that's why they say less carbohydrate, more fiber. While on fiber are not easily digestible. That's why they say eat more of oatmeals, whole wheat, grains. These things are not digestible easily. Your body cannot break it down easily. It takes time to digest. And because it takes time to digest, it lowers your sugar level, not to spike up very fast. It delays the spike. Because as it's digesting, it's absorbing all those sugars in your bloodstream and store them into your cells. So that's why they say concentrate on fiber food, because they are more healthy to you, because they are not digested. It takes long time to digest than carbohydrate. So those are the 3 types of carbohydrate that we have. All right. Now, I've told you guys about what are the benefits. One is healthy, makes you stay healthy, for you to live a quality life, and again, keeps you away from having any complication from diabetics. Okay, so those are the benefits. Now, in terms of where it is confusing is the measurement. Like I said to you guys, one carb is equal to 15 grams. Of 1 carb is equal to 15 grams. If you watch that video that I put on board, 1 gram is equal to 15 grams. Now, for women, because you see the amount of carb that a man will consume is going to be different from what a woman is going to consume because of the body context. What the amount of carb that I might need might be different from the other person. It has different factors. There are a lot of factors that plays within yourself as a diabetic. How much carbs should I consume? It takes a lot. So it varies. There is no one rule that fits all, that say, okay, because I'm taking 2 carbs a day, you must take 2 carbs. No, it varies. And there are factors that we consider in deciding how many carbs you consume a day. 1 is your age. Okay? 2 is your weight. 3 is your diabetes medication. And then your physical activities. Those are factors we consider, or they consider, in determining how amount of carbs you should take. Your age, your physical activities, your diabetes medication, and then your weight. If you're obese, you're not going to eat less carb because you need to reduce your weight. All right? If you are involved in physical activities, you are doing physical activities. Yeah, Cecilia, how are you? You are doing a lot of physical activities. Then you need more carb because you are burning a lot of calories. So everything varies. It's not one size fits all, that because she's taking 5 carbs, I have to take 5 carbs. No. It varies. Now, as I said, 1 carb is equal to 15 grams. Now, for women, women are expected to take between 3 and 4 servings of carbohydrate at 15 grams per serving. That is where it's complicated. You guys that are mathematics, let me repeat it again. You see, on calculation is where it's confusing. On counting your carbs. Now, I'm going to repeat it again. That's why I repeated it several times on my video, and one of my fans was scolding me that I should stop repeating. I know why I repeat, because I cannot just say it and then go. Because She might understand it faster, others did not understand it faster. So I have to repeat until you grasp it. Now, 1 gram, one carbohydrate is equal to 15 grams. Now, for a woman, you're expected to take 3 to 4 carbohydrate serving at 15 grams per serving. Somebody will say, okay, you say I'm going to take 3 to 4 carbohydrate serving at 15 grams per serving. What does that mean? It's like indirectly, I'm telling you, this is what you're supposed to take for in a day. But instead of this is what you're supposed to take in a day, but this is how you're going to take it. You're not going to take everything at once. So when they say 3 to 4 servings of carbohydrate, that is your meal, 3 to 4 servings in a day. As a woman, in a day, you're supposed to eat 3 to 4 servings. 3 to 4 servings of carbohydrate in a day. But when you are eating it, it has to be at 15 grams per serving. So since now you know that, okay, as a woman, I'm diabetic, and I'm expected to eat 3 to 4 servings of carbohydrate per day at 15 grams per serving. So now I know that it's my carbohydrate in my food is going to be 15 grams per serving. So if I'm eating a meal now, the carbohydrate quantity in my meal should be what? 15 grams per serving. All right, and I'm going to eat 3 to 4 times a day. So if I'm going to eat, say, okay, let me go to maximum 4 times a day. So now 4 times a day, and I'm going to take 15 grams per serving. So 15 gram, 45, 60 grams. 60 grams for women per day. As a carbohydrate, you're supposed to take 60 grams per day. Because remember, you are taking 15 grams per serving. And you are supposed to eat between 3 to 4 servings of carbohydrate per day. So instead of you cannot just, okay, I'm going to eat 4 times a day. And then I'm going to eat 60 grams of carbohydrate. I'm going to eat my first meal 60 grams, second meal 60 grams, then no. So they divide that 60 grams into 3 to 4 servings per day, but you're going to consume them at 15 grams per day, per serving. So this is how to count your carbs. So for a woman, you know that 1 carbohydrate equals to 15 per serving. Okay? You're supposed to eat 3 to 4 in a day. Okay, if I'm going to eat 3 to 4, that means I'm going to eat 15. Each of my meals is supposed to contain 15 grams per carbohydrate per serving. So 15, 60 for women. Now let's go to male. Male is, for men, you are supposed to eat between 4 to 5, because men only is a little bit higher because of the body content. They do a lot of work. So a man is supposed to eat between 4 and 5 carbohydrate serving at 15 grams per day. Women is 3 to 4, men is 4 to 5. So just a difference of what, So it means a man is going to eat 4 to 5 times per day. But on each of your carbohydrate intake is supposed to be 15 grams. On each meal, it's supposed to have 15 grams of carbohydrate in it. So, and you're supposed to eat 4 to 5 times a day. So let's go to 5 times. So if you calculate your 15 into 5 grams, you know how much it is. It's going to be between 45 to 75 grams of carbohydrate. This is how to count your carbs. So if you are serving your food now, like in Africa, when you go, when I go home, before I became diabetic, when I go home, they'll go and bring a bowl of food, one big plate of food. What you're going to see here is pounded yam. And you finish it. You say, Mom, I need more. They bring you another one again. You finish 2 plates. And then after 1 year, you become diabetic. That's bad. Because what you just ate there is more than, in one food. They bring 1 corn meal. Your wife prepare you 1 corn meal, or your husband prepare you 1 corn meal in a plate. You just finish it. That is more than, if you're a woman, that's more than 60 grams. You've eaten 2 or 3 times what you are supposed to eat. So that's why now, instead of eating 1 bowl of pounded yam or corn meal, no, you go In that plate, and if you watch that video I did, okay, I'm gonna repeat it again. I'm gonna use a pepper again here and highlight it. I'm gonna use a pepper here and highlight it. Because I did highlight it on that video that I did yesterday. Let me get a pen. I'm gonna draw it. Just hang on, let me draw it. This is a plate. Okay, this is your this. Okay, this is your, which one is more bigger here? Okay, this is, okay, this is vegetables. Okay, this is your protein. I'm coming, I'll join you guys. I just want to prepare it, protein. This your oats, and this is your protein, oats, fruits, and then you have your water. All right. So now, if you are counting your carb, I'm going to show you guys. This. I showed in the video I posted yesterday about counting carbs. It said this here. I know you guys cannot see it properly, but I'm going to try as much as I can to highlight it here. If you guys can see what I wrote there. This is your vegetables. Look at, you see, this is a plate. Just take this a plate. Okay? Look at the size of your vegetables. Look at the size of your vegetable. Look at the size of your vegetable. You see how big it is? Now look at your protein. You see the size of your protein. See the size of the protein here? Now this is your fruit. And then this is your oats. There's that or carbohydrate. Let me just, if you are taking cornmeal or pounded yam or cassava, you see how small it is. Look at it. You see how small it is. Look at it, small. This is where, you know. And then here is your water. H2O is your water here. All right. So if you are serving your food, this has your plate supposed to be this way. That's how your plate is supposed to be. That old ways of you putting a bowl of pounded yam, no, you're gonna stop it. In that plate, you divide it into 4. You have to eat a lot of veggies. Your plate is supposed to have a lot of veggies, a lot of protein, fruit, and then small portion of your pounded yam or cassava meal or whatever, small. That's why they say 15 grams. 15 grams per serving. That's why you see that plate, see how small that area is. It's supposed to be 15 grams. So you are eating less carbohydrate, but you are eating more fiber foods. That's how you count your carbs. You don't go and fill a plate carbohydrate and then finish it and then you ask your wife to give you more. Okay? So this is how you count your carbohydrate. All right? So that is one aspect of it. If you know how to count your carbs, it's going to help you a lot. It's very important. That was dieting. I know as a diabetic, dieting is very hard. Dieting is very, very hard. Because that's the first thing doctors are going to tell you, change your diet, because you cannot continue eating what you're eating, carbohydrate. It's not going to work. You're going to change your dieting. Okay? So, if you have any question, anybody have any questions, send it across to me. So, you're going to learn how to count your carbs. It's very important. You learn how to count your carbs. More fiber foods, less carbohydrate. More fiber food, less carbohydrate. And then you'll be fine. And then take your medications, do your exercise, reduce your weight, Always see your doctor, listen to your doctor. Okay. Now, on weight, once you are counting your carbs, you're going to reduce your weight. Your weight is very important. I said it in one of my videos. Okay, one of my videos. Diabetics don't like people that are so slim. They like people that are big. So that is why all of you that have a doctor, family doctor, you know your doctor have told you one or several times, hey, you are reduce your weight, change your diet. Then he or she knows why he's telling you reduce your weight, reduce your weight. You reduce your weight moderately, you'll be fine. It's part of living healthy. It's part of living a quality life. It's very important. I'm going to answer this question from YouTube. Michael is asking me, what if I cannot afford those kinds of food? Well, Mike, if you cannot afford those kind of food, you have no choice. Because once you're a diabetic, you cannot go back to what you were doing before. You've got to change your lifestyle. You cannot be eating carbohydrate. If you're eating carbohydrate all the time, and you're taking medication, you still be complaining, oh, listen, I'm taking my medication, but why is it that my sugar level is high? Your sugar level is high because you are still eating carbohydrate. You are taking the medication, but as soon as taking medication, you load up carbohydrate again, you spice it up. So that is why you have constant sugar level up. You eat less carbohydrate, more fiber. And then with your medication, exercising, everything balances up. Okay. Michael, I hope I've answered your question on YouTube. All right. I think, Eric, you have any other question? Kamara, do you have any other question? Major, do you have any other question? Is there a transplant that can be made for diabetics? No, Major, no. I've heard about pancreatic transplant, but I've heard about it, that you can do pancreas transplant. One, it is rare. Two, it's very expensive. It's not something common. It's very expensive if you find one, and it is rare. Okay, so if it is so easily, there are a lot of celebrities, there are a lot of presidents, there are a lot of governors in North America that are diabetic. They are diabetic. So if there is a transplant and they sit on top of that money, they should have gone for it and they change it. So I've heard about it, a pancreas transplant, but one thing I know is very rare and it's not assured. You can do it, even if you have the money to do it, it's not guaranteed that it's going to work. Okay, so yes, you can do pancreas transplant, but it's not guaranteed, and it's very expensive. It's meant for the rich, not for a common man like us. It's very expensive. So it's something. All I know is that from the research, they are still working on it to find a solution. They are still working on it to see if they can get a medication for it. But I don't know. Maybe it's not going to be this generation. Maybe it's going to be in another generation. I don't know. It's like cancer. They are working on cancer to get their medication, but for how many years they have been working, but they couldn't find it. Maybe one day they're going to find a medication for all these things. Maybe it's going to be in our generation. It's going to be in another generation. It's like when malaria came out. When malaria came out, a lot of people died. It takes years upon years, decade upon decade for them to get a medication. So I believe there comes a time diabetes will be like ordinary disease. You get it, you go and cure it. But I don't know when. It's like HIV. HIV killed a lot of people when it came out newly because the medication was there, but it takes a long time before they get a medication. Even the medication they got now is not the one that cures HIV permanently. No. Rather, it reduces the virus that you cannot even identify it when you go for microscopy, your blood work, they can't find it. The only thing, the medication you take for HIV is that it suppresses the virus that you're going to live a normal life, have a normal sexual life. You don't need protection because the virus has been reduced minimal that a microscope cannot even see it. They cannot see it in your blood, but it's still there. But it's no more harmful as deadly as before. Because because of the medication you are taking for HIV, it reduces the virus and knock it out, that it cannot be potent to your life. So I believe diabetics, there comes a time, as I said, it might not be in this generation, it might be in another generation. One day, like cancer, they say, okay, they find the medication, now it becomes an ordinary disease. Okay? Yeah. So that is the counting of carbs. Now, what are the best carbs for you to eat? I've said it. One, oats. Oats meal are very good. They are a very rich source of fiber. Oats. Whole wheat. They are a very good source of fiber. They are good carbs. They contain small carbohydrate in it. And I've explained to you, if you check an oatmeal now or whole wheat, you see carbohydrate there. It has fiber. But the advantage is that the fiber in it outweigh the carbohydrate in it. That is why those foods, when you eat it, it doesn't spike up your sugar level high. Like I eat oat. I will take oat and it's not going to cost me anything. It's going to keep me filled up for a long period of time and stabilize my sugar. But if I go and take anything out of that area, one day I tried, I went to my friend's place and I tried a semolina. As soon as I put semolina, just one swallow, I could get a reaction. I said, no, I just stopped. I said, no. I said, instead, just give me the soup. I will take the soup, but this thing, I don't want it. So I use spoon and I take the soup. Okay, so that is why, because the carbohydrate in it is too high, it's digestible. Oats, the fiber in it is not digestible easily. It delays. So oats are a good source of carbs. Quinoa is good also. Quinoa is good source of carbs. All right, and there are some. I know there's a name for it. Let me try to remember the name for it. Beans. Beans are a good source of fiber. It has carbohydrate, but the fiber in it is rich. Especially those black eyed pea, the ones you see in Africa. Not those, there are different kinds of beans. You see those black eyed pea, white with a black eye on it. It's very good. It's a very rich source of fiber. So those are some of the examples. Some fruits. Stay away from. I don't know how many times I'm going to repeat this. Banana. Stay away from it. The sugar in banana is too high. It's fruit. It's a dietary sugar in it, but the sugar content in it is too high. So stay away from banana. Banana is not going to be good for you as a diabetic. It has some fiber in it, but there's no way. Stay away from banana. If you can sacrifice for it, instead, why don't you go to the green plantain, the green one, not the ripe one, the green one. Substitute it. Okay, and then cucumber. Cucumber is number one. It's rich. It's number one on the index. It's rich in fiber. You can eat as many as you want. There's no quantity because that thing it's just ordinary water. So that is why they place it so high. It's a good source of fiber, and a good source of carbs for you. So the carbs in it is minimal. It doesn't spark up your, because it's just like ordinary water in it. So cucumber is better. Okay, and then apple is good, but you have to eat apple at least once. Take 4 apples per day if you can. Yeah, somebody is cornmeal in Africa, corn roller. Yeah, Eric. Those millet meal, corn meal, anything corn meal, forget it. Eric, anything, how do you count the number of carbs? Do you need to buy a scale? Oh, okay. All right, okay, Eric, I'm going to answer your question, but let me answer Ruth. Ruth asked me a question. He says my stool is very hard and it comes in small pieces. Yeah. When I noticed that when I got diabetics, the first time, the new time, something you're not used to. I got it. So when you are newly diabetic, it affects your digestive systems. So I'm going to answer your question this way. Why your stools are very hard, comes in pieces, is the way my doctor explained it to me when I went there, because they check my stools also. Okay. And they see that the digestion is not digesting properly, because once you're diabetic, it disturbs your digestion. You are not going to digest as you are digesting before. You see, if you take like fruit or corn, like for instance corn, some are going to digest, but if you look at your physics in the toilet, you see some corn there. So it affects your digestive system because of that. That's part of the complications. So what you're supposed to do is, when you're having that problem, when you're having that hard, two things. Your diet, the food you eat, and I can bet you, I'm talking about root, the food you eat, I can bet you are eating more of carbohydrate, less fiber, and you don't take a lot of water. So one, if you're diabetic, root, yes, it's going to affect your digestive system. You're not going to digest properly. Okay, it's going to digest at least 70% or 80%. It's not going to digest like before. The way it when you go to toilet, it's smooth and everything. No, but if you see that some are digest, some are not digest, you're going to have that problem. Then if you are coming hard, you're eating too much carbohydrate and you're having constipations. So, and then you eat all those things, you don't take enough fluid. Okay, do not stop fasting. Stop fasting. People say, oh, I'm diabetic, I'm fasting. You can fast as much as you want. Okay, you can fast as much as you want. It doesn't help you in controlling your diabetics, because your body need energy to function. Your sugar level fluctuates during the day. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. And every 4 or 5 hours, you start feeling like you want to eat. When you want to eat, eat. Stay to that guideline of counting carbs. Know what you are eating. Eat to replenish the energy, because your sugar level is up and down. Okay? So you don't eat the same carbohydrate in the morning, eat it in the afternoon. You keep piling, and you're not taking a lot of fluid. And so when you go to a street, it becomes so hard, or it comes in pieces, because you are dehydrated. So Ruth, yes, diabetes is going to affect your digestive system. It's going to experience it. It's going to affect the digestive system. So I changed my diet. Instead of eating those hard food, I changed my diet to soluble fibers that I know that can, digest slowly. Not everything I eat, and take a lot of fluid, and everything, comes back to normal. That is, come back to normal. That I was able to go to toilet and that it's no more hard. Sometimes it's hard, but sometimes if it's hard consistently, if it is hard consistently for a week, 2 weeks, then there's something you are doing. You're going to change your diet. All right. So Ruth. Now Eric. Eric, there is corn meal in Africa called roller meal. Anything corn. Corn is carbohydrate. Millet meal, all those things are carbohydrate. All those things, it's not good for you. You can call it anything, whether it is millet meal. If it is not whole wheat, all those grain meals, they contain sugar. The only thing, if you want to eat it, you have to eat it in moderation. You have to eat it in a smaller quantity. You cannot eat it the way you used to eat. If you like, there's some food, if the thing is whole meat that I really, really need to eat it, then I'll discipline myself that I'm going to eat this small portion. I'm not going to go above that portion. So it's all about self-discipline. And then you ask me again, how do you count your carbs? Do you need to buy a scale? All right. Like if you guys go on the online, there are different apps there. I've seen some dead apps that you can check your carbs, you know. But the way I check my carb, okay, is you can buy a scale. There's a scale for it, just a small scale. If you go to the kitchen, there's a small scale for it. You put there, it's going to tell you how many carbs. Some of them are manual, some of them are electric. You know, that's going to measure and tell you this how many carbs you need. Okay, but if you are used to it, measuring your carbs, you might not need a scale. But if you're a new person that has a diabetic, there's a scale for it that you know, a small scale that you can just put there. It's going to tell you this is how many carbs in it. Either manually or automatically, it's going to tell you this how many carbs in that food. All right, let me tell you how I measure. I always mention, like me, I don't eat too many carbohydrates, so I don't have that issue. But if I really need to consume carbohydrates, you know what I normally do? I don't know. I'm gonna get. I would have gotten something from. I would have gotten and show you guys here, but I don't have it here. Okay, I'm gonna invent the way you're gonna. You see, back home we have the bigger spoon. You know those bigger spoon you prepare soup with it. You know, I'm not talking about the food, the one you eat. There's a bigger spoon. You know, they come in. There's one that the mouth is big, and there's one that the mouth pinky. And greetings. In Africa, there's those bigger spoon that you use to prepare soup when you're doing food in the kitchen. That the mouth is big as my hand, that you can use it to serve food. You know, there are different sizes. Okay. If you are going to dish out food for yourself, use that food. That, you know what I'm going to do? I will take that spoon, I'll cut it, take that spoon, take the one I want to eat and put on a plate. I'm not gonna take any other one. So whatever that spoon will grab, okay, put it on a plate, that's my serving. I have something that I used to measure. I don't know, I'm gonna get it tonight, but maybe I will show you. You know, there's one electric one, you put it there, like if it's something like a powder, you put it on that pan, it's going to scale it up for you and tell you, okay, it has a sensor there, it's going to tell you this is how much carbohydrate that is in it. There's a smaller scale for it, you know. But because I don't eat too much carbohydrate, I try to stay away from them. So, but if I really need to, take swallow, okay, that spoon, I'll measure that spoon. See that spoon head? Cut it, like if it is rice or if it is pounded yam, I cut it, put it on a plate, that is it. Because I know that spoon, the head of that spoon is not up to 15 grams of carbohydrate. It's going to be between 10 and 15, but I know it's not more than 15 grams of carbohydrate. So that quantity of food grabbed in that big spoon is okay for you to consume. Don't take two. When you use that spoon to cut it and put, don't cut again and put. Once you cut it, fill that mark and put it, that's okay for you. That's how I always do it. Before I finally get this thing that I can just put there and the scale there is going to tell you there's a scale for it. But I don't know if you guys can get it there, but it's very, very expensive. So, but one thing you have to understand is, do you know how many carbs make 1 gram of carbohydrate? If you understand that one carbohydrate equals to 15 grams of carbohydrate. If you establish that, okay, now 1 gram is equal to 15 grams because you measure carbs in grams. So now 1 carbohydrate is equal to 15 grams. Now I know. On this, what about the serving? That is where it's complicated. That's why I explained to you between the man and the woman. What you know. So if you know 1 gram, okay, a lady is supposed to take 3 to 4 carbohydrate serving per day at 15 grams per serving. So each time you eat food, you have to make sure that the gram in that your food is 15 grams. And you're going to eat three or 4 times in a day. So 15 grams per each meal. So you know how much it's going to be. So there's a scale for it, Eric, if you can find it. If you cannot find it, then what I normally do is I use that big spoon they used to prepare soup, back home. So if I want to eat swallow, if I say I really need to eat, I use that spoon. I use it, cut it. I cut it and I put it in a plate, and that's it. Because I know what I have there, it's not going to spike up my sugar level too high. So that's another way for you to scale it, to know. Because now you're no more eating the whole bowl of carbohydrate. They serve you is everything there is carbohydrate. No. So, and I've showed you how you're going to serve your food. It's about eating healthy. You're going to contain vegetables, eat a lot of vegetables, fruit, protein, and then that smaller portion is very good. And water. Okay? So, yeah, pot spoon, Pinky, pot spoon, yeah. Pot spoon. So that's how, but if you cannot find the scale, use the pot spoon to cut whatever you're going to cut, one serving, and then keep it there. And the most important thing, you're going to discipline yourself. If you discipline yourself and say, okay, now I'm going to discipline myself and eat that smaller size portion. Eat it, it's going to keep you going for another 4 or 5 hours. That is why, if you watch what I just said, even before I start telling you guys about counting carbs, I say you're going to eat every 4 hours. Because when I say the dietitian, this is what they taught, you have to invest. How do I protect my life? Because as a diabetic patient, your blood sugar level fluctuates. So they don't eat the whole food at once. Divide it into 4 or 5. So you divide it. So every 4 or 5 hours, if you're feeling hungry, you go and take one again and eat. But make sure carbohydrate in each of the meal is 15 grams. So if you're eating, make sure that the amount of carb, right from in the morning till in the evening, is the same. That is why they told you per serving 15 grams. So 15 grams, 15 grams, 15 grams. All right. Now I'm going back again. If you are a mealtime insulin, that is, you take your insulin during mealtime. You have to make sure that your insulin that you are taking at your mealtime is equal to the amount of carb in your food. Okay? The amount of carb in your food should be equal to the insulin you are injecting at mealtime. It's going to balance both of them. So for those that are taking insulin at mealtime, and then you don't just go and pump yourself insulin, and then your wife or your husband serves you food with a bowl of cornmeal. It's all carbohydrate. No. That insulin is wastage. You're wasting your insulin. It's not going to work because your sugar level is going to go high again. Okay? So that's why they say your insulin at mealtime should balance the amount of carb in your food. Yes, yes, Chidebere. Yeah, it contains a lot of food in Africa, contains a lot of carbs. I explained it before, yeah. Yeah, but the problem is, I've explained it before. Maybe you're just joining us now. There are two things in Africa. Your foods in Africa contains a lot of carb. There are two things why you guys are having that. Why all of us are having diabetes? Because I'm also an African, so I wouldn't say you guys. I'm diabetic, but mine is controlled. I'm living a normal life as usual. So because I don't fear of complications here and there because I make sure that my sugar level at every time I watch what I eat. I don't eat anyhow anymore. And if you're inviting me, anybody inviting me to that place, I'll tell them, hey, this is what you're going to eat. Prepare for me. I don't eat this. I don't eat that. So if you don't have it at home, go and buy it and keep. So that others, when I come, if you serve me, if I say I'm not going to eat, don't say, oh, this guy hates you. I always tell the people who I'm visiting, this is what I'm going to eat if you're preparing food. I'm not going to eat this. I'm not going to eat that. So if you don't have it at home, then you can prepare it. So because I have to please myself first before pleasing the other person. So now there are two things in Africa. It's not about the food you are eating that contributes to your carbs. I've explained it before. Your food has too much carbohydrate. Yes, quite right. But the kinds of drinks in Africa, I don't know how to describe it. Because they'll tell you this bitter lemon. They'll tell you this is what do you call it? Bitter lemon. Call it one kind name, all kind different name. But once you open it and put it in your mouth, the sugar content in those drinks are hell. Because nobody monitors them. They go to one backyard and prepare meat, cook everything, and then in the morning they bring it out. And then you guys are rushing, drinking. And not that you are going to drink one a day. You drink about 5 in 2 minutes. Because you're piling your body. So one is the kind of drinks there in Africa that are sugar loaded, and then the carbohydrate. So if you are going to discipline yourself on the soda drinks there that are full of sugar and then leave them alone, then carbohydrate, you can manage with it. So these are the two issues in Africa, the drinks and then the food. I'm waiting for more questions. If you guys have any questions, I'm waiting for more questions. I'm waiting for more questions. If you're a Man U fan, I want to say you guys, I want to say great Man U win today. If you're a Man U fan, I want to say thank you. All right. Now, what else again? I'm waiting for questions. So let me wait for questions. So, if you guys have any question, you can ask me any question. I'm waiting for questions if you have any questions. No question on YouTube, no question on Facebook. All right. Chidebere. Chidebere, am I repeating myself now? All right. So I'm going to have a general discussion now. If any question comes, then I will tackle it. If you're a caregiver, you are taking care of a family member that is diabetic, or you are diabetic, make it a point of duty that he or she is being taken care of by a doctor. Don't treat it at home. Don't treat it at home. Make sure there is a doctor that is treating that diabetics, prescribing drug, guiding you guys. Okay? Make sure you have somebody treating you or the person you're taking care of. Now, when you go for blood work, make sure the doctor knows what he's checking. Make sure the doctor is checking the cholesterols. Make sure the doctor is checking the high blood pressure. Okay? He's checking the A1C levels. Make sure you're checking your kidney, your liver. All those things are very important anytime you go to do your blood work. If possible, check your potassium level. Your potassium level is good. If possible, check the potassium level. Okay, that's another thing again I'm going to discuss about the importance of potassium. With diabetic. So check your potassium level. And stop self-medicating. Stop self-medicating with traditional healers. You go to a traditional healer, you say, oh, I'm going to give you medicine to do this. There's nothing traditional healer is going to do for you. It's not going to cure you, nothing. Ruth, there's something missing in your question. Ruth, there's something missing in your question. Can you check again? There's something missing there. So while I wait for you to update your question, let me go ahead. So stop medication, stop self-medication. If you any family doctor, any traditional healer that says, I have a medication for you, I can cure diabetes, I can do this, it's just deceiving you. There is no cure for diabetes. Never there is any cure for diabetes. You can live and manage with it. So it is very important. Check all those things. Now, if you are sick, I'm going to talk in general now, because if you are sick and you go to the hospital, this tends to happen in African countries. It doesn't happen in North American countries. It happens in African countries. The doctors here, no doctor is going to treat you here without sending you for a lab work to know what he or she is treating. But I notice in Africa, somebody is sick. You go to a doctor, they will not do any blood work, they will not do anything. They just tell you, oh, you have malaria, you have typhoid fever. They just give you injection and start going. You are killing yourself. This is bad. That only happens in Africa. If you are sick and you're having symptoms and you go to a doctor, before any doctor treats you, put anything, start writing prescription. Let him or her send you for a blood work. Go and do blood tests and let them find out with those symptoms what is wrong before he or she start giving you injection or start writing medication for you to go and drink. No, because you go to a doctor's office. Like one of these days, I went back home. I was sick, so I went to the doctor to get looked after. So as soon as I walk into the doctor's office and I sit down and he's asking me all those questions, your symptoms. Okay, all right, yeah, okay, Ruth, I'll come to let me finish. So, and I tell them my symptom, what I'm feeling. So I was expecting that he's going to say, okay, I'm going to send you to the lab, go and do a test. And they come back and then I will know. There and there, the doctor starts writing medication for me. In Africa, you see, Africa has this privatized medical offices. You go to a medical clinic there, they have their own laboratory there, they have everything there. So it's not like here. So he started writing medication for me to take. And then in that medication, there's an injection. I'm going to take an injection. I just come to your office and tell her, this is the symptom I'm getting. Already you are writing me medication and you want to give me an injection. So I asked the doctor, why would you give me injection? Why would you start writing medication when you've not sent me to a lab test to know what is? And these are African doctors here. They feel you cannot challenge them. They feel that they know better than you. You go there, they say, why are you teaching me my job? So I said, doctor, there is no way I'm going to take an injection here or any medication until you send me to a medical lab. So we'll get into a little argument. I just get up. I said, I'm not going to waste my time with you. I just get up. So when I step out of the clinic, he followed me out there. I said, please, can I talk to you? I said, listen, you're not talking to an illiterate, or you're not talking to somebody that doesn't know what you're doing. I do what you are doing. I know what you are doing. You see, this profession, we are in it. So how can somebody walk into your doctor's office? I expect you to send me for a lab test, get the result, know what you are treating me before I start giving me injection. I just walk in here, you start telling me I cannot. I say, you can't do that to me. So I think maybe somebody have told them, oh, don't you know this guy? I'm not a politician, I'm not a president's son, I'm not this and that. But somebody have briefed him. He followed me out. I said, this is how you guys kill people. You don't do that. When somebody walks in here, tell you something, send them for a lab test first. Get the result, know what you are treating, and for giving injection. It's not just somebody walking here, you want to collect the money, say this and that, go and inject it. What are you injecting? So you guys have to stop that. So anytime you go to a doctor, you are sick, you have symptoms, the doctor must send you for a lab test. Know what is wrong with you. If you say, this is malaria, doctor, can you send me for a lab work? Nothing like this is malaria or typhoid. Do the necessary thing, get a result, then you know what you are treating and they know the injection you are giving. Don't just start giving somebody one. You might be giving that patient, you don't even know whether the person is alive. You inject that person, the person fall in your clinic and die. What happened? What are you going to tell the family? So these are certain things you guys have to watch across. If you go to a doctor treatment, you have the symptoms, stand on your right. Don't be intimidated. First thing, they don't have to send you for a lab work, get a result, and then commence treatment. Nothing like you walk into a doctor's office and he say, "Oh, I know what you're talking, this and that. Go and pay. Go to the pharmacy, go and pay, and then take injection." No, you are risking your life because most of these doctors don't care. All they care is about the money. So at times, don't get intimidated. You stand on your right, and if the doctor is not going to do the necessary thing, go to another doctor that's ready to take their time to know why you come to visit them and then do the necessary lab work and then take it from there. All right. So the next question, yeah, Ruth, all those things you see, there are all kinds of different medications for treating pre-diabetics or diabetics. Yeah. Now, I could see the 500 milligram, 30 milligram, and then the 30 milligram for pre-diabetics. Yes. They are all different kinds of, you see, everything, when you sent me the first question, I said there's something different. And now you completed it. They give you 500 milligram and 30. Okay. It depends on how bad your diabetes is. It depends how bad it is. So some doctors will start from the highest dose and bring it down. Some will start from the lowest dose and bring it up. So if you're diabetics and you go to a doctor, it depends what he or she sees on your result, whether to start with the higher dose and bring it down, or start from the lower dose and bring it down. So in this case now, the 500 milligram is the higher dose. Even if we have up to 1,000 grams. So, but he started you at 50, 530. Okay, at least he started you at the middle to see how you respond to treatment. They're all treating diabetics. The difference is the dose. So he started at 500 instead of 1,000, or he should have started about 200 or 100, but because maybe your diabetes is bad, so he started you at 500 grams by 30 grams. Okay? Now, you have to understand, in treating your diabetes, mostly there are two drugs you take. Mostly they give you two drugs. Let me explain. People that are treating diabetics, there are two drugs you take. You take two drugs in the morning, two in the afternoon, or two in the evening, or in the morning, in the evening. There are two drugs. Those drugs, they are all treating of diabetics, but they serve different symptoms. Now, for instance, here now you have 500 milligrams and 30 milligrams. Now you are taking two drugs. The first drugs you take, there's a diabetes drug that controls your diabetics when you eat. So when you eat, that's what they say. Doctor will tell you as soon as you finish eating, take this drug in the morning. So when you eat, your sugar level tends to spike up. So that drug you take, one of the drugs, the 500 milligram, that one you take, what it does was to bring it down to the normal level. I'm talking to diabetic patient. I take the two drugs. Most doctors will give you two drugs per, two in the morning, two in the afternoon, two in the evening. Mine was two in the morning, two in the evening before I stopped. Okay? So there are two drugs. One of the drug is when you finish eating, your sugar level goes up. So one of the drugs, which is the one that goes high, what it does was to control your sugar level, bring it back normal. Now, the other drug, the same diabetic drug, what it does was it keeps your sugar level controlled throughout the day, because throughout the day you'll be eating. Throughout the day, you might find something to munch, you'll be eating. So what the other drug does is that it keeps your sugar level in check throughout the day to make sure it doesn't go. So one drug drops it down when you finish eating. Control to make sure it doesn't go, to bring it down. Then what the other drug does was to control your diabetes during the day, because your sugar level is for. So anytime you eat, it's controlled. You already take it. So what it does is stay there as a guard. The other one, if you take it when you finish eating, has served its own job. Because you just finish eating, you take it, it has done its own job. It knocked down back the sugar level down, because as soon as you finish eating, your sugar level go up. So you bring it down. Then the other small one you are taking, what it does, it stays on your bloodstream. It just keep an eye on your sugar level throughout the day till when you are going to drink another drug in the evening. So what it does was it controls your sugar level throughout the day. So that is why you take two drugs, the 500 grams and the 30 milligrams. They're all for diabetics. Then you see another one for pre-diabetic. Okay, see something I'm saying. Everything depends. Some doctors will stand you from high dose and bring it down. Some will stand you from low and rise it up. Now, when you have diabetics, maybe the first time you have diabetes, your sugar level was so bad. So your doctor started. That is why I said, you must listen to your doctor. Follow your doctor's direction. Your doctor knows why he or she is starting the way he's starting. So when you were diagnosed diabetics, your blood sugar was so high. It was so high that it might be heading to start attacking your organs. So what the doctor was to, I'm going to hit this. I'm going to go straight to the point. I'm going to start with full force. So he started with you 500 grams. Then in the course of your treatment, there's improvement. As you are improving, your doctor might change it, bring it from 500 milligrams to 200 or to 300, 100 to even 30, because you are improving on your sugar control. So because if your sugar level was so high when you started, and after 2 years, you are going to test and your A1C level is steady, your glucose level is steady, you don't need to be on 500 grams. It's going to bring it down to lower gram until maybe you go to one of your techs again and see that your sugar level has spiked again. Then he or she can change it to raise it up again. So if he bring it down, you are responding to treatment. Your sugar level is controlling. So you don't need to be taking that 500 grams. That's why he knocked it down to 300 grams. It's the same thing with pre-diabetics. If pre-diabetics can be reversible, okay? So if he or she find out that your sugar line is on the borderline, okay, he might recommend you or give you a strong dose to push it back, delay it, not to go to type 2. Yeah, that's good. 5.1, they say, yeah, that's better. That's perfect. That is perfect. That is why I was telling you, he started you from 500 and knocked it down to 330 because you are responding. So you don't need to be taking 500 grams anymore. But if in such a, if again you change your lifestyle and go back to what you were doing before and your sugar level spike again and they keep doing tests, it's like he's going to take you back to 500 grams again. So but from your A1C level 5.7, this is perfect. This is excellent. So that is the reason why he brings it down to 30. Okay. Yeah, because you don't know, because when he or she sees your blood work, there's something he's seeing there that is telling him or her, your doctor, that you are getting okay now. So you don't need to be going on 500 grams anymore. You have to come down to 30 grams. Okay. So that is it. That is it. You're doing fine. Good. Your blood sugar, your A1C level is fine. You're doing fine. Excellent. So, any other question? Another question, because I'm going to be doing in the next 2 hours again. I'm going to be, because today this wasn't my topic, but because I have to explain that counting carbs. So I'm going to do another live video later for what I want to be discussing today's topic. So I'm going to do another live video later. So in the next 2 hours, so I'm going to prepare myself. So I said, let me just tackle this question about counting carbs, how to count carbs. So that is why I said I'm going to come online and explain it better. All right. So any other question before I go? In the next 2 hours, I'm going to come back again to handle the new topic. I'm going to be discussing a new topic about high blood pressure. In the next 2 hours, if you're interested to join me live again, I'll be discussing about high blood pressure. That's going to be the next topic I'm going to do live. That's the main topic. What is high blood pressure? It's one we're going to be discussing later. That's going to be the next video. The next live section I'm going to have in the next 2 hours. So if you are awake, wherever you are, you can join me later in the next 2 hours to discuss about high blood pressure. Okay. So if you guys don't have any other question, I'm going to be knocking off now to come back in 2 hours time for another live video. So all right. So in the absence of no other further questions, I'm going to call it a day. I'm going to be back online in 2 hours time. I'm going to be discussing high blood pressure. So I hope if you are awake, you can join me on that live sessions to discuss the importance of high blood pressure with diabetics. So see you guys in the next 2 hours. All right. Goodbye. YouTube, are you hearing me? YouTube, are you hearing me?
Hello, friends. Welcome to Managing Diabetes.
YouTube, are you hearing me?
Today is I'm going to be dealing with one issue that I've been receiving a lot of questions regarding